Welcome to Weekended. But before you go and relax this weekend or head to a comics event, let's get you in to know of all the comics news that came over the Comics News Wire this week that turned heads and comics pages in this comic book industry. And now to our anchors to give you the news you need to know. Looks like you guys are just getting me today. I am the unboxable advocating creator known as the Indie Comics Devil, who will tempt you with my devilish tales of fetish, monsters, and more. And I am a giver of free hugs and spanks, a proud partner in Continuum Comics. Welcome to the show. My name is Mr. Anderson, comics fixer, creator, comics advocate, fan, geek, dad, freak, and passionate person and autism advocate. Welcome to the show today. We're going to get into the news right away. Let's get to it. You guys can see the new logo for our site is up on top, and we are ready to talk about some news. So let's dive right in, and here we go. When is Free Comic Book Day? Well, here's the real date. This is brought to us by Mercury News. Of course, we know Comics Book Day. Free Comics Book Day is now in August. I believe it's August. Let me look it up here real quick. It is August, I believe, 14th. Actually, let's just look at the article real quick. Let's make sure we get this one right. August 14th. Yep, here we go. So on August 14th, you will see Free Comic Book Day. But what you can get right now off of Kickstarter and have it by Free Comics Book Day will be the 13th Labor, brought to us by Sean Keenan. This is the story of Hercules and his 12 labors, is one of the most casual fans of mythology are familiar with. What is less familiar, most of the stories, is that they actually had the 13th labor. The whole story is about him being sent to the future to decide the fate of the worlds. It's an interesting Kickstarter. You got to go over to Kickstarter.com right now to check it out. So, as soon as you're done with this show, head on over and see what's going on Kickstarter. This is pretty cool. A lot of stuff about Captain America. And this one's brought to us by CBR. Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' daughter is the future's best Captain America and possibly the best Captain America at all. With multiple possible future timelines, it's suggested that dating Cage is the future of the Avengers, capable of becoming both Captain America or even Thor. How cool is that? Speaking of cool, from James Hayek, we have To Celebrate by the Horns. Going into the second printing, they're running a contest. That's right. You're going to have to go to the Scout official comics headquarters page to find out more. All Things Geeky talked about the return of Free Comics Book Day, which I got to take part of. That's right. I was over on the other side of the Florida coast at the Collective checking out the grand opening. So it was pretty exciting. I got to be part of Free Comic Book Day for the first time ever, and it wasn't really Free Comic Book Day, but it was sort of. So, hey, I'll take what I can get. Speaking of taking what I can get, Loki's moves up its premiere date. Weekly release episodes will now be on Wednesdays. That's right. You won't have to wait till the end of the week to check out what's going on with Loki, as they're now going to be shifting to Marvel being Marvel Wednesdays for New Comic Book Day. Smart move by Disney, as Marvel plans to continue to give out its new its new comic book schedule, always on Wednesdays. DC now on Tuesdays. So that's interesting. And Star Wars will be, I believe, stay on Fridays, according to the article. And from our friend Kamal Hennessy, we have Learn How to Market Your Comics. And this is a actual marketing theory and webinar that you can check out now. Just go to Gamal Hennessy's page of the Comics Newswire, or come into this, which is in the actual, no matter where you're watching this, it should have given you the link to this page where you have all this exciting stuff. We got your canceled Star Wars Ninja Turtle toys from Toys R Us. They look cool. Check them out. And speaking of something to check out, Catch the Crazies is back on Kickstarter for a third issue. You'll want to get this. If you're a fan of the Crazies, this is just the story you've been waiting to hear. We'll make this a little bigger for you guys to see some of these things. Let me see if there we go. We're almost there. And there you go. So you can see the stories better with me. The next Batman's tragic origin is wrapped Oh, wow. We're not seeing the side thing here. Isn't that always the way when you're trying to get things to work? Either way, it's wrapped. It's warped. Sorry, it's warped take on Batman Begins. This latest issue. There we go. This latest issue of the next Batman Sons presents the origin of the new Dark Knight as a twisted take on Batman Begins. So that's pretty cool. And for some reason, the page isn't loading. That's not cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and talk to you about being a pair.
Be a pair. Be professional. Be ethical. Be authentic. Be respectful. Remember, in this industry for comics, be a pair. Art provided by Chris Mad. Look up Chris Mad Art on Facebook today.
While we wait, check out who I use as a printer. We got it loaded. A little bit of a snafu, but that's why we have this. Check it out. My friend John Crawford got some love from TampaBay.com as they talked about his collection of wrestling historical comic books that he's created. It's pretty awesome. This is professional wrestlers are telling their stories through comic books. How exciting. And John Crawford, of course, is on Kickstarter right now with his latest edition. Check it out right now on Kickstarter. Go to Squared Circle Comics. You could also go to John Crawford's page, or you can go right here and click this link. It's in there too. Star Wars The Mandalorian game is in development. I know that's a game that Jax is going to want. I might have to break down and get a PS5 after all, because Jax is going to love playing with that video game. We'll see. Time will tell. And we have this that did not link up, so let's open it and see what happened. By the way, that story is brought to us by comicbook.com. All right, here we go. Steve Tanner had bad news about a mysterious serial killer body count that is rising. But the good news is so are the stretch goals. That's right. You can check this out now. It is on Kickstarter, and it never tells us what the Kickstarter name is. So we'll quickly give it a look. Not a big deal. It's Harker, the Book of Solomon, Part 2. It's already got 150 backers, 25 days to go. Good job, Steve Tanner. And check that out. We'll try to get it on Backer Paws next week. Teen Titans, the Red X mystery has a prime new suspect. One of the students from the Titans Academy, in fact, has adopted Dick Grayson's Red X identity. But who is it? You have to check out this article from CBR if you want the spoiler. And John Lee Comics from Big Cartel gives us Mountainhead. Don't slow down. Don't get comfortable. Don't think you're safe. So check it out right now. See if it's a book for you. Robert Kirkman reveals the most important scene in the Invincible series finale. If you want to hear from the creator's point of view, to him, what was the most important part of it? Check it out now. And this is part of a Kickstarter that's going on right now. It is Primal, the Arena. Let's check it out real quick. This is on Kickstarter. Here it is, the new Mellowstorm Comics Primal, the Arena issue 1 is here. And again, we're trying to get permission. Stay tuned. Hopefully we'll see it on Backer Paws. Scumbag Images series shows what Marvel's strongest Avenger could have been. The scumbag follows the worst man on earth, Ernie Clementine, after he gets superpowers. In many ways, Ernie's a warped version of Marvel's Serenity. So check it out for comparisons. My man Specs Thomas is on Kickstarter with his book, Legacy of the View. Check it out, man. Really, really cool. It's now part of our actual Backer Paws event. You'll see it on Wednesday. You can find it by going to Comic Advocates. And you can right there. It's towards the bottom. It's brand new and it's part of it. So check it out right now. Invincible. 10 things only comic book fans know about the Voltrumites. Voltrumites. They sound like vultures every time I hear it. So check it out now if you're an Invincible fan. I know, season ender last week, kind of a bummer. From Brian E. Lau, we have Staunch Ambition, issue 4, full trade in a supernatural sci-fi. We're going to try to get that on Backer Paws as well. A lot of new stuff starting. We're pretty excited about that. And here we go. Shadow Man. The valiant hero just made a brutal return. The debuts of Valence Shadow Man series heralds the return of the classic hero. So check this out over at CBR. If you are a fan, this is exciting. Speaking of exciting news, here we go. The Continuum has been printed. Here we go. Bring it up on the big screen. Has been printed, and it's on its way out to all you comic book fans out there. So check it out right now on your PDF version if you are a backer. If you want a copy, just reach out to us. We'll get you a copy. The books are going out. You can see it right there. Pretty exciting stuff to be able to get these books out. And the Batman 1989 fan game perfectly reenacts the Tim Burton classic. So if you're a Batman fan, check this out. Gaming news from comicbook.com. Here it is. My first live back on the road in 21. This is like an official show. I had done a signing. This was for us to do a show. It wasn't just a signing. It was literally it was a mini show, but it was a show. And then the next day, I went to a bigger show over here in Fort Myers, and they're only going to get bigger from here. I'm pretty excited. You could see me hit the road right there. Nocturnia, the Image series, reveals why it went dark. Of course, this is brought to us by Scott Snyder and Tony Daniels, and this is over on Image Comics. Check it out right now. It looks like a fantastic series. I actually got the first one through the Kickstarter, and I got the script version. It's so awesome to see. Such a huge fan of it. And our friend Joey Galavez gave us 2 Scout Geeks. That's right. He's going to be talking about all the things that make him excited in the comic book industry, and including Scouts Comics April sub box contents. So I don't think I was in that one. How sad is that? But what isn't sad is that there were tons of great comics in there. I've heard from many different people that the Scout Comics subscription boxes are amazing. So you can go over to Scout Comics right now and get signed up for your own. Batman's newest villain wants to push him beyond Bruce Wayne. What? To find out more, go to CBR.com right now. And Black Cotton is available this week. Go to ScoutComics.com again. Talk to your local comic book shop. They can order it through Preview's catalog. It just came out for those comic book shops that were smart enough to order it. Check it out right now. Very sad news. John Paul Leon, legendary Batman, X-Men, and static artist, dies at 49. Man, this sucks because Milestone is just coming back right now. This was huge, depressing news. Our condolences go out to everyone who knew him well and his family, of course. Sad, sad news. The second episode of the YouTube Secret Identity series, now happening from L.A. Noir, is happening this week. First real appearance of She-Hulk, Dazzler, and more. Check it out to find out where these characters put their roots, or where their roots come from. Either way. The Conjuring, we talked about this. The Lover Limited series launches DC's new horror imprint. That's coming soon. This is directly from DC Comics, by the way. Scout signs a non-exclusive Canadian distribution deal with Universal Distribution. This is huge. That means Cat Dad, over my shoulder, is headed to Canada. So pretty excited about this. Great job over at Scout Comics. James Hayek is taking Scout to the next level. Here we go. This was kind of a new Disney and listing seemingly remove Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from MC continuity. It was never really officially ever called continuity, but let's put it this way. Disney Plus doesn't seem to be on its way to actually correct that. If you're in Florida and looking for a show, our good friend Tom Rapp gives us a great look into the future, some small shows, some big shows, gives us all the way into next year. How awesome is Tom? Make sure you follow Tom. He's always got some great stuff. And speaking about great stuff, coming from DC Comics, ask the question, what's the deal with the dinosaur in the Batcave? If you want to know more about that, click the link, and there's a couple other mysteries within that link. The Collective had Bobby Gregory. That's right. I was there. It was a great interview. Last minute, got to talk about Cat Dad and Supermom and the home of the Scout imprints for Scoot. And we were talking about the zany superhero team and more. And the Collective is a great place. We opened up their store. Fantastic, amazing comic book store if you're in Florida. It's definitely one to check out. And this was their 42nd episode of highlighting creators. So that's awesome. Thank you to the Collective for all they do and for interviewing me and let me talk about Cat Dad. Some sad news if you're a Flash fan, as 2 series favorites have now exited the series. This is bad news and good news. In comics, we know the cast of characters around the main character often change, so I feel like next year we'll get a different feel with the Flash programming. The artist that brought Boba Fett to life, John Celestri, was with Brian Rodman, and they had some conversations about this week's Dastardly Dingo podcast. And check it out. It seems like a good podcast. I've seen some of the guests. I haven't gotten to listen to one yet. It's on my to-do list, though. Comic book preview from FlickeringNet.com, the James Bond, Agent of Spectra. Is Spectra a thing? I'm not a huge Bond fan. I'll watch the movies in passing, but I won't wait for the opening day, if you know what I mean. And from Silvio Spotto, we get some art from his campaign that's currently going on. This is over there. Let's see. Anything written? Nothing written? Wow, I thought there was more to this. But the art is beautiful, so it's definitely worth checking out. They're now on Kickstarter right now with their sword thing. As a matter of fact, let's give them some love. Let me see if we can get some love here for them. We'll take a quick break and we'll give them Sword of Justice.
Sword of Justice.
Hi there, I'm Silvio Spotty, creator, writer, and artist of Sword of Justice. First, thank you for your support on.
To find out more about that video, check us out on Backer Paws. Hello, Mike, and welcome to the extravaganza. I'm by myself today, and we're making it happen. Robin is fighting for his life in his new series. So excited to see this character develop. He's been around for a while now. He should be 20, actually. He's been around long enough. I named Jax after him. Let's put it that way. And Jax is 6, and when he showed up, he was 13. So he should be drinking beers in a short while. We'll have to see if they age him up in this new series. Here we go. Packing for safety. Make sure you send out. And remember, his friend, Superboy, is now becoming the new Superman. So packing the comic for safety. That's right. Make sure you're sending things out the right way. You saw the continuum. This is how I take care of it. We do board and bag. We do bubble wrap. We do tape. We do Gemini mailer. We want to get it to you as pristinely as we can. Yeah, all right? So, again, this is all part of the initiative and responsibility of us over at Continuum Comics, which I am a proud partner of. So I am handling these as if they were on my own books. By the time you get them, I want you to open them and not feel like anything went wrong during the shipping process. I do my best to try to prevent that mailman who shoves your comics in the mailbox. ComicBook.com gives us some background information on Catwoman in this new special feature. You can check it out at ComicBook.com today. We got some great art. And here it is. He's talking about creating it, and he says, just stay tuned for the news and don't miss it by nothing in your... Oh, wait a minute. Just stay tuned for the news and don't miss it by nothing in your life. I guess that's the name of it. And to see more, click the link in my bio. For May 18th, the game is getting serious, dudes. So check it out. You definitely have to follow up with that. And here we go. Speaking of following up, the Robins reunite in Nightwing 80 first look as 79. Nightwing 79 sold out. I love to hear when comic books sells out. That's always a good message. And here we are. We talked about it. Here it is. Scout Comics May subscription box now live. You're going to get some Ashcan previews this month from Black Caravan's Broken Souls Ballot and Scout's Mullet Cop. There are also a few more surprises, including 3 Scout metal covers. What? Announced just before the cutoff date of the 25th. Stay tuned. Oh, man. If you want to get it now, because they're going to also have a hollow foil cover for Stake 3, who is the headliner of this month. So that's pretty cool. More stuff about the Invincible, how the Invincible cartoon will surprise comic book readers, as Invincible co-creator Robert Kirkman discusses how shifting some of the comics plot points in the animated series will surprise comic fans. I think this is just smart business. If you want to take something from a comic book to a comic book cartoon, you're going to want to have people to watch it, so you're going to do that. Speaking of the collective, here you go. The collective, the game shop, Brendan Boyle had a lot to say about it. Congratulations to them at putting out Tales from the Collective Initiative Presents. definitely a book that you want to have in your library. Reach out to them to get a copy now. I did hear rumors that it could be a Kickstarter, so stay tuned as we're covering this developing story. All right, here we go. How Black Lightning brings positive masculinity to primetime. I like the idea that masculinity doesn't always have to be toxic. I think that there's a place and time for everything. Bravado is a nice thing when it's done well. But also, I think this show does deal with a lot of aspects. Read the article over at dccomics.com and talk about it with your friends. Let's start conversations about masculinity, not just being toxic. Now, this was posted one day ago. It said 7 days, so we have about 5 days left. This is for Wolfsbane Comics. This is definitely one of the more interesting ones, and we can switch back over to our backer paws room, and I can bring up their card here. If you bear with me just 1 second. Here we go. So there you go. You can see some awesome stuff going on with Wolfsbane. So check it out today and see if you're a fan of this. Time is running out. It's over on Indiegogo. So this weekend, take the time to check out Wolfsbane. All right, so here we go. Oh, this was kind of cool. Crush is the best girl ever. Shut up. Crush and Lobo is starting. It's a series of a father and daughter in a very unique way. Well, the father is Lobo. Check out why Crush is the best girl ever over at DC.com. And this weekend, or this week past, the week ended, I can't wait to get to the weekend, clearly. Comic book crowdfunding, the Backer Pause show, was actually paused so we could talk about fulfillment. How do you like that? So this week we talked all about fulfillment and showed some videos. Make sure you check us out Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. for all the amazing projects that are crowdfunding. Of course, we talked about this a little earlier. Static EarthX artist John Paul Leon, again, died at 49, way too young. We all lost out on that, especially with Milestone returning. And from DC, by the way, that story is brought to us by CBR. Brought to us by DC.com. Why We Punch Nazis and Other Justice Society. World War II Lessons. This is a new, of course, DC animated film coming out soon. I think it's coming out this month. Stay tuned for more on that. We'll be covering it and find out why they punched Nazis. Here we go. The next Marvel. Indie publishers race to mine comics for film, TV, and other rights. That's right. Publishers are now trying to grab up as many different comic book properties as they can. We're seeing another wave where Hollywood kind of shut down, and while they shut down, comic book creators kind of didn't. So now it's a heyday. Your property, if you're a creator, could be getting picked up in the next 6 months. Make sure that you get out there on the shows and shine. DC Comics gives us a sneak peek into the DC Pride Month going on next month, and you can take an exclusive look an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at it at dccomics.com. And over at flickeringmic.com, we get a preview of Marvel X-Corps. Reminds me of X Factor, but in a whole new way. It's really interesting. I'm kind of a fan of it. You got to check it out right now. Head over to Flickering Myth right now. And from Aaron Humphreys, we get some more art. And he's talking about what you guys can see over at Silver Line Comics. Make sure to check it out. Let me see, make sure I didn't miss anything in this. Calling it off the top of my head. You could also get it at indieplanet.com. And Obsoletes are coming soon. And make sure to check out Silverline Comics page right now. All right, the Suicide Squad battles Starro, the conqueror of the new comic book inspired poster. Check it out now at comicbookmovie.com and see what's going on with them. Some great news. We covered Twilight Detective Agency #2 on Backer Paws, and here it is. It's in print. He's going to be sending it out. We're always excited to hear that in the show. Thank you to our good friend Michael McAdam for giving us the update. Michael B. Jordan reacts to the Black Panther release of the new the Black Panther Wakanda Forever reveal, and he was excited about it. If you want to hear his own words, go to comicbook.com. This is a great video. What's the point? What happened with Falcon and Winter Soldier? This guy broke it down in a very interesting way. Sometimes he's behind the scenes. After I watch a video, or a series, I should say, I like these videos because they might give me something that I might have missed. Because sometimes you're just excited as a fan. And I really haven't watched any of these series a second time yet. I probably will get around to it when there's no other media. Like today, what is there? We don't have the Falcon and Winter Soldier. We don't have Invincible. What am I going to do with my life today? I've got SmackDown later today. Maybe tonight we'll do a Freaky Friday. That's right. Today's Friday, and it's the first one of the month, so stay tuned for more on that. DC Fandom is returning in 21. That's right. This October, one of the best virtual cons. As a matter of fact, I'll call it the best virtual con ever of 2020. Here it is. DC Fandom is returning, and it'll happen right between, actually, New York Comic Con and Baltimore. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I came up with a new logo. I'm even doing a new business card. I put all the things I am in this. I'm very proud of this. I've improved it and tweaked it a little bit. You guys saw it in the head of the thing. Just wanted to point out how people look at us and they see that image. And then in the shadow in the foreground, it explains all the things I am. Remember, a person is not just one thing. Just because you know them for one thing doesn't mean that they don't have more depth than that. And that was kind of the point of this new logo. I hope people enjoy it. Big changes coming to the Superman family that you can find out now in DC Comics and see how the changes are going to affect the books in July. Here we go. We got some art from... There we go. We got some art from Evan Ponzio, Time Spent Never Wasted. This is going to be available in fall 21. It's the Harvest of Horrors anthology series. It's coming from Caliber Comics and Second Sight Publishing. It looks like they're teaming up to do this, and it's going to have edits by Andre Molinari, of course, the Shepherd creator, and now over at Scout Comics with Black Caravan. All right, here we go. Steve Rogers, another Captain America thing. Big things for Captain America as he turns 80 this year. As Steve Rogers teams up with the all-new shield bearer in the United States of Captain America #3, we get to meet Joe Gomez, the Kickapoo tribe's own Captain America, created by Darcy Little Badger and Dave Coulter. And you're going to be able to check more about this story out over at Marvel.com. Speaking of Marvel remembered John Paul Leon, who, of course, we announced earlier in the show has passed away, but they gave a tribute to him, and I thought that was badass, so we shared it with you guys so you can see some of that. Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, and Sam Alexandra, like you've never seen them before. Check out how Heroes Reborn is changing the young squadron. If you want to see now that guy in the image, I thought that was Mr. Sinister. That's Colossus. Apparently Colossus is looking a little different these days than I remember him, but he's looking sharp, man. I like that haircut, the fade he's got. I didn't realize his fade can show through with his metal skin now. Things have changed with Colossus since I was reading them. I got to check out more about him. This entire run has been awesome, and everyone's talking about it. These are the variant cover from the Hellfire Gala coming up. But if we want to go back in time, back to the X Factor, you're going to be able to do that with X-Men Legends #3. After 3 decades, the Simonsons are reuniting with X Factor Acopolis and another old foe. Check that out over at Marvel.com. And if you want an awesome comic book and you're looking for a great read, go to comicbookschool.com right now and get Creator Connections Panel 1 Anthology. And it's absolutely free. It's over 144 pages, over 140 pages. I think it might be 144 pages, but it's over 140 pages. Check it out now and get yourself some entertaining reading for this weekend. Marvel's celebrating Pride Month, which celebration continues with new covers by Phil Jimenez, America Chavez, Iceman, Northstar, and Draken star in the first set of Pride Month variant covers coming this June. Specs Thomas, of course, we saw this. Here it is. Here's the link right in our own news, weekended news thread, so you can check that out right there. Marvel results are in for the groundbreaking X-Men vote, and you can find them out over at Marvel.com. Readers chose Polaris, but see how close the other X-Men, or now not X-Men, got. And, of course, this is Sean Keenan's 13th Labor. Definitely check that out. And here we go. One last piece of news before we let you go for your weekend. World-famous celebrities and athletes to appear in Marvel Comics Hellfire Gala this June. Mutant fashion influencer and celebrity come together during the X-Men's inaugural Hellfire Gala featuring debut appearances by world stars. And speaking of being a world star, if you want us to cover your news like you're a celebrity, because that's how we treat these amazing creators that create comic books, send us an email about your Kickstarter, your event, your Indiegogo, or news. And we'll have it shared on our site, and we're going to advocate for you, but only if you send us a news piece of your news to us via email at comicsnewswire@yahoo.com. Remember to be kind and share and understand that Continuum Comics is where creators rise through creation, bridging universes together and bringing creators together as well. And check out geekinsider.com and make sure to renew your geek card. Thank you for joining us. I hope you all go out there this weekend. Oh, breaking, actually. Let's go to some news. I know that this is it. I'm a little bit off the beaten path. Bear with me 1 second. We talked about always giving you a forecast, right, at the end of these shows. So there wasn't a lot going on this week show-wise, and I don't think there's anything until the following week, but we're going to check anyway. So here we go. Tonight, we're going to have the topic about, by the way, 9 p.m. tonight, who has a comic that deals with sexual representation, exploration, or is meant to start discussions? Tell us about them and join me tonight at 9 p.m. I'll see if I can get everyone on tonight. Let's see. We're going to go over here. Here we go. What's your next Comic-Con? So let's see who we have. We have Melbourne happening on the 22nd of May. PowCon is happening, and that's going to be in Melbourne, Australia. And that's going to have our friend Sean Keenan. We're going to have Vera Sam. That's going to be at PowCon, May 29th through the 30th at Wayne, New Jersey. Ben Lacey this week is going to be at Myrtle Beach Mall for Comic-Con, Grandstand Comic-Con, May 8th through the 9th. So that's happening this weekend. Jonathan Hedrick's going to be at Pensacon. That's going to be happening the 21st through the 23rd right here in Florida over in the Panhandle. Our friend James Sins is going to be at the Outdoor Three Rivers Comic-Con Light 2020 event. That's going to be the 22nd through the 3rd as well. Tampa Bay Comic-Con, I'll be there July 30th through the 1st. I have officially decided to go to Tampa instead of Raleigh, North Carolina. Very difficult decision for me to make, but I made it based upon the factors. And this is something, a little bit of a hint I'm going to give everyone. Think about your costs, hotel, lodging, all that, the travel costs, and understand that there are going to be limitations. I looked at it this way, and I love Raleigh. I can't wait to go back to Raleigh. I'm actually a little heartbroken over this. But for me to go to Raleigh, I'd have to travel. Raleigh, it hasn't really begun selling tickets yet because North Carolina's still figuring everything out. So it's weird, right? If I go to Raleigh and give up Tampa, they have a diminished show while Tampa's talking about doing panels. I'd have to spend more on lodging, more on travel, and lose 2 days at an awkward time where my son's about to go right back to school because it's happening in an awkward time of the year. It's actually the weekend before Jax goes back to school, which, you got to get school supplies and stuff like that. So it's going to be a busy week heading into that week, as I think he goes back actually that week right after the show. So taking him on a long trip might have been a problematic thing. So after really debating it with, like I said, a slightly broken heart, I'm going to be skipping that. But I will be at Tampa, and Tampa's one of my favorite shows of the year. I like Tampa Bay Comic-Con, so I'm not really losing as much as I just picked the best show I could this year. We're going to have a lot of us are going to face that as these shows begin to just pack up on top of each other. And we have from Jerry Prinett. He'll be at Tallahassee. See you there. And that's going to be happening June, the first weekend in June. It doesn't say it here, but I know because they sent me something. I might go there, but they sent me a weird thing where it was a canceled invoice. I'm like, I can't pay a canceled invoice, guys. Andrew Mecca Davis says he'll be returning to the road in 2022. There we go. Kind of tripped on that one, and my apologies for that. We're going to get you guys the convention scene. Let's see what over at the convention scene is going on. and see what shows that they might be knowing about that we're not talking about right now. So let's do that right now. Here we go. Comic book convention scenes. Of course, we know Dallas Expo has been moved. The new dates for Dallas Expo, if you guys were expecting to be there next weekend, but is September 17th through the 19th. So, and that's it. So just as a quick look, see, it starts to get busy, and it's only going to get busier as other shows are getting announced. I'm starting to see it. You guys can see it's starting to fill up. For those who've been watching this show knows this was kind of empty a few weeks ago, and now you can see the Chud is something I think is new to this at least. Atlanta Comic Con has officially been posted here. Look at that, the weekend before Orlando MegaCon. And Tampa Bay is the weekend before that. I'm telling you, man, these are starting to stack on top of each other. Awesome Con is going to happen in the middle of the summer now. That's just Planet Comic Con in Kansas City, Flame Con at the same time. And we're going to continue to see this. And I believe SuperCon, I want to say SuperCon might be the same weekend as Awesome Con. Let's see when SuperCon. I think they put up the dates on their site, supercon.com. Let me see if the dates are up. Haven't heard back if I've gotten accepted yet or not. No. All right, let's see. SuperCon. It does Super Console. All right. And Super Miami, maybe? And if I can't get it, okay. So Florida SuperCon. That's why. All right. There we go. All right. So blow this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. Florida SuperCon, September 10th to the 12th. That's when it is. So it lands in September. New York Comic Con, the 7th through the 10th. Emerald is going to be the 2nd through the 5th in Washington State in December. And C2E2 in Chicago will be December 10th through the 12th. There will be no Keystone Comic Con this year. All right, guys, we're there. We're at the end of it. We've gotten here. Forecast done. News is done. Now it's time for you guys to go out, explore the world, because now you're in to know. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week for exciting program. Make sure to tune in tonight at 9 p.m. for Freaky Friday. And away we go. All right, guys, go out there and enjoy yourselves. Back at Kickstarter. Go to Indiegogo. Take some time off and relax. Go to a convention. Go to a comic book store and enjoy your time off. We'll see you back here next week for more news coming off the Comics News Wire. Bye, everybody.